Hypocrisy, a word that has such a powerful meaning, yet is rarely reflected upon, especially in modern America. Merriam's dictionary defines hypocrisy as feigning to be what one is not, or feigning to believe what one does not, or a behavior that contradicts what one claims to believe or feel. Former U.S. Vice President Al Gore urges us all to reduce our carbon footprint, yet he regularly flies on a private jet. Former drug czar William Bennett extols the importance of temperance, but is reported to be a habitual gambler. Pastor Ted Haggard preaches the virtues of the clean life, until allegations of methamphetamine use and a taste for male prostitutes arose. Eliot Spitzer prosecuted prostitution rings as Attorney General in the New York State, but he was later found to be a regular client of one such ring. More to the point, the way in which the radical left is screaming about integrity, morality, acceptance, free speech, and liberty, all while breaking the law, being deceitful and closed-minded, and infringing on the free speech and rights of those they disagree with. And that is the very definition of hypocrisy. And I will likely be seen as a bigot or fascist for calling out their obvious contradiction. Or the way that many who were very recently identifying as libertarians or anarchists are now calling for closed borders and the suspension of rights of their political opponents, in direct opposition to their previous beliefs, all while still claiming to be what they clearly, by definition, are not. We have grown to a place in this country, or some would argue manipulated or driven to a place in this country, where one's feelings now take precedent over the facts. We are told, or rather led to believe, that what we feel matters more than the truth. And when we start to break down what all are beginning to recognize about mainstream media, among many other institutions, it becomes clear why that climate is being created. Not long ago, most felt secure in the thought that the nightly news was keeping them informed, holding powerful individuals accountable and asking the tough questions. Yet we now know that is not the case, if ever it was. The fake news narrative was the last grasping effort of a dying medium to convince the public that there is only one true voice in America, and that is the mainstream media. And all the rest are lying, cheating Russian spies, or whatever the ridiculous concoction of lies is at the moment. Once that failed, the only option left on the table was to cast doubt on everything, in a very Brave New World type confusion. And once inside this newly created hopeful echo chamber of misinformation, the talking heads begin to validate your feelings, even in the face of all the factually revealing information being pumped out by independent media. Essentially saying, yes, you were right to doubt all those alt media guys. You were smart enough not to trust those pesky facts. Believe in your feelings and trust that we will always validate those feelings. This is due largely to the fact that the story being sold by mainstream media is one of comfort and pacification, leading people to believe that their government only wants what's best for them and only seeks to protect them. And deep down, this is what most want, a sense of safety, even a false one. Yet the truth is always a bit more dark and complex. But as they say, ignorance is bliss. We have been pushed here for a reason. Knowing they were failing, knowing that people were becoming aware of their deception, they drove Americans to a place where they would choose to check out and just decide to put their trust in the big news networks simply due to frustration and confusion. Now mainstream media can quite literally pump out false stories with zero facts, and many will take it at face value, while doubting any actual fact presented by alt media, all due to this created apathy. So we find ourselves at a point when it is not only seen as okay, but has been validated and justified by corporate media to hold two contradicting stances if it feels right in the moment, be it politically or personally, and is seen not as hypocrisy, but as virtue, not as uncertainty, but compassion and understanding. What should be seen as incompetence or insincerity is now the American way. This is simply the cherry on top of the deep-seated level of hypocrisy that has embedded its way in the very psyche of the American mind.